Good morning, Aldersley. It's Wednesday the 1st of April. This is Mrs Davies and a lovely little bunny to welcome us to April. A stereotype is a mistaken idea or a belief that many people have about something, which is based on how they look, and it might be untrue or only partly true. And stereotyping is a type of prejudice, so we have to be really careful when we instantly judge something by just how it looks. Let's start today with a bit of a riddle. Let's see if stereotyping is out there. A van driver whistles to a nurse on the street and then swerves to miss a parked car and crashes into a young boy and his father who are driving to school. The father dies at the scene. The boy is transported to the hospital, taken immediately into surgery, but the surgeon steps out of the operating room and says, "I can't operate on this boy. He is my son." Two questions. How can the boy be the surgeon's son? And is the van driver a man or a woman? What's your immediate response? The answers, of course, are that the surgeon could be a woman or could be a man. And the van driver could be a woman or could be a man. He or she could be whistling at a male or a female nurse. This is what we call gender stereotyping, where we use our preconception of what a man or a woman looks like or does to influence what we think about them or how we behave towards them. There was a survey done in 2018 and they published some of the things that young children thought men did in terms of jobs and women did. They're very different lists if you look. Some of them involve gender stereotyping. But why not? Why can't women be truck drivers, firefighters, construction workers? Why can't men stay at home and be house husbands, or dance in the ballet, or be a doctor or a nurse? What's important is that we all get equal opportunities and we're all able to choose our own destiny. We also tend to stereotype in terms of society around people's age, and quite often older people's viewpoints aren't necessarily taken fully into consideration. They may be dismissed as being grumpy or too old to have an opinion. This age stereotyping isn't just limited to the elderly. Young people can also be stereotyped, and over the years we've seen young people as from the 1950s, the teddy boys, into the punks of the 1980s, to the hoodies that maraud around town or those that sit in front of their computer all day. Young people are often stereotyped into a particular way of acting and a particular way then of being shown in the media. Probably one of the most famous ways in which young people have been stereotyped was written about in a book called Folk Devils and Moral Panics by Stanley Cohen, who was a famous sociologist writing in 1972. There was an incident that happened in 1964 when the mods, who were driving down to Brighton and Margate on their scooters to go to the seaside for the weekend, were joined by the rockers, who were a group of people who dressed very differently from them and had the same kinds of thoughts. They wanted to head to the seaside to get some fresh air for the weekend, to meet up with their friends. Because there were large groups of people and arriving into small seaside towns, the police there felt overwhelmed by the numbers that arrived into the particular place. And there were, of course, some little skirmishes between the two groups of people. The media headlines of the time looked like this: Battle of Brighton, Wild Ones beat up Margate. The press amplified what the incidents were, and they wrote about them as if this was the worst thing to happen in the world. And the resulting effect was that the young people became the folk devils. They were to be feared, to be worried about, and brought society into what was then became known as a moral panic. And this is one of the ways in which we can perhaps be influenced by the things that we read in the papers, the things that we see. And we would then associate that particular look or that particular way of dressing with a specific stereotype. And it can be quite dangerous, and it can mean that we don't look beyond those young people to see what their actual purpose was for that particular day. One thing we shouldn't do, though, is to judge a book by its cover. This is a metaphor, obviously, that it means that you shouldn't prejudge what someone's like by just how they look or how they behave potentially. And it's important to reflect upon that as we think about the stereotypes that we've discussed today. They're a big part of what I teach in A-level sociology around how society works and how we look at each other. And if you're interested in sociology, you can drop me an email and I'll let you know all about what the course covers. So yesterday we had some challenges set by Miss Dunn, and I'm sure we're all aching because some of us have got quite long names, and having to spell our name with a physical activity may have exhausted some of us. I saw lots of tweets about inspirational sports stars and also some physical activity timetables, and that's really important while we're at home and working virtually. Okay, so here's my challenges for today. Linking in with the theme of stereotyping, I want you to do something that would be unexpected of you today. Some examples there might be to wash up or make a snack for someone. Second thing is to select your best piece of work to showcase. Put it on the hashtag AHS Superstar Showcase. If you haven't already entered the Good Eggs in History competition or shown us your wonderful cakes or your fabulous D&T work or your artwork, get that posted today. And then the third activity is really a reflective one, and using the hashtag AHS Reflection, what are the things that you want to do when we're able to get out and do them again? Fill a jar with your hopes and your dreams. Something I saw on Twitter was to pop a post-it in each day of the things that you're most looking forward to doing. Okay. And in terms of teams, just a reminder that we're all part of the Aldersley team, and you're part of your subject lessons, you're part of your year group team, your whole school team, your form group. It's important that you engage every day and that you keep in contact with us. Your school team has extra work, competitions and additional challenges, and your ASLs are tallying up those points and adding them to their weekly assemblies to give their weekly awards. SLT Student of the Day is also allocated into your year group team. Make sure you use Teams appropriately. These are just some reminders. We are available between 8 and 4. It's the same as being in a classroom. Make sure you use formal language and communicate appropriately. And lots of teachers have set up the separate channel for you to talk to your teacher, which is great, so that you're able to make that communication separately to the assignments which post on the general feed in Teams. A reminder then about your online lessons. Lots and lots of you are finding it very straightforward. Think about getting yourself prepared and organised, and don't forget to check in at form time with your form tutor. There might be an additional challenge, an extra opportunity to get some of those points. So just before I go, here's a reminder of who to contact should you need any support. This is all about keeping safe. We're online from 8 till 4. You can contact your head of year in the first instance. You've also got your ASL and your subject teachers and the senior leaders who are attached to your particular year groups to support you in whatever way you need. So the final slide is just a reminder in terms of our well-being. Today's activity is to make a plan to help you keep calm and stay in contact. Please contact us if you need any further support. Make sure that you look after each other and stay safe. And we'll see you all again for another assembly tomorrow morning. Have a great day.